Today we'll be talking about linear momentum, and as you can see in my diagram, Pi equals Pf. So what that pretty much is saying is P is equal to mass times velocity. But the conservation of momentum is, the basic long equation is if you have an m1, a v1 initial, plus an m2, v2 initial, that should equal m1, v1 final plus m2, v2 final. Okay, now there are all sorts of types of problems you can do with this. One is recoil, which is pretty much the v initial of both the objects are the same. So you would have the m1 plus m2 v initial equals m1 v1 final plus m2 v2 final. Now, an example of this problem is if you have a gun, because my drawings are beautiful, and a guy with a massive gun, because, you know, that's cool, is running with the gun and has a bullet in it, and he's running at the initial of 5 meters per second, shoots the bullet, pew, pew, nope, there it goes, off, and yeah, that's how it works. So, as he shoots the bullet is, we don't know, okay. And yeah, as he shoots the bullet, the gun will be pulled back at the gun final, I'm sure I'm going to say, is equal to 0.01 meters per second. But since the gun is going backwards and the bullet is going this way, velocities are vectors, so we're going to have to call that negative 0.01 meters per second. So, from here we would, we know that the gun has a mass of 5 kilograms. And we know that the bullet, the MB, has a mass of 0.05 kilograms. Okay. From here, we are trying to solve the VB final. And yeah, so pretty much just plug and chug, you know. Yeah, and so the M1, we're going to call it mg, so these two together would be 5.05 kilograms times the V initial, which is 5 meters per second, which would equal, that parentheses doesn't go there, which would equal the M1 V1 final plus M2 V2 final. We're going to say M1 is the G, the gun, M2 is the B, the bullet. Okay, so what we're going to do is solve for VB of the bullet. So we're going to want to subtract the mass of the gun times the velocity of the gun. Since the velocity is negative, we're actually adding it to this side, so we get 5.05 kg times 5 meters per second, which would equal, or not equal, minus the mg times the velocity g, which is a number. So once we do this, divided by the mass of the bullet, which is 0.05, I'm just going to write that out. So 5 times, you're actually adding that, is 0.05 meters per second. So if we do physics-y stuff, and then we'll find that the final velocity of the bullet is 504 meters per second, which makes sense. Bullets move fast. So, boom, goes the bullet. Anyway, that's just one type. That is recoil. There are two other types. There's inelastic, which is when the two objects come together and they stick and move in one. So that equation would be m1 v1 initial plus m2 v2 initial, which would equal m1 plus m2 times the final velocity of both of the objects. And then the last one is just simply this equation right here, which is a perfectly elastic collision, which will technically never happen. The closest thing you get is 2 electrons going, boom, not electrons, but particles going, boom. But there's still that little bit of entropy, that gets rid of a little bit of that momentum.
William Jones, if you're in the building, please come to the main office right away.
Okay, cool. Anyway, but yeah, pretty much as long as you know this equation, you can find out the recoil and the inelastic equation. So just memorize this, and then be like, oh, if they both have the same V final, then that's just V final, and then algebra, take out a V final, M1 plus M2 equals V final. So pretty much with the momentum is PI equals PF, which is that. So if you know that, you know everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.